Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. Let's get on and immediately look at the possible impact data this morning. We'll just come across into the calendar. Say this morning, it's this afternoon, but today is the 27th. In fact, let's just update the data on here. Let's see where we are. Okay, so everything's updated now. You see the core durables came out better than expected yesterday, quite significantly on the durable goods overall, but the core durable goods is the figure we really look at the most, up 0.3. So there is some positive news for the US that we're finally seeing. Today we've got the advanced GDP. Now again, if this was a positive number, it starts changing the flow a little bit. The balance has been really quite negative. But it might just, might just change it. But the outlook on the GDP is not brilliant. Aside of that, then we've got the price index, so another inflation figure sitting there on that news. So apart from the GDP itself, there'll be a lot of eyes on the advanced GDP price index. Inflation. Okay, side of that, then that's it for today. We've got to wait until tomorrow to get the Bank of Japan data out, but that will probably overnight, so just be wary if you're holding to yen positions overnight that things could get a bit bumpy, turbulent even. Anyway, on that note, let's have a look at the markets, and we're starting off as ever with the euro US dollar, and you can see once again yesterday it peaked. Actually, it just took out the previous high there, and it's hanging at the moment. If you come down the time frames, you just see it's hanging a little bit. Still hasn't touched its daily pivot. If it comes down and hits that first, the potential for a bounce isn't as good from where it's sitting at the moment with shape. The bounce will just literally bounces, it might go, but if it goes through a few pips, it will give us a lower high confirmed there, so which could result in just chop as opposed to anything else. It's at the moment with this market something like all or nothing. We've got it's running in one direction, then nothing, and then running strongly, and it's sort of somewhere in between. So maybe we'll get if we get a solid push up this morning, well, it could be running up towards its daily L1 previous highs. Okay, the pound. Looking at the pound here, that's just come out the time frames. You can see the chop it's been sitting in. It's a very rangy sort of market, but the range isn't consistent. It started off quite nicely with the tops and the bottoms there, but since then it's tightening up the range, which could just mean that it's going to fly when it flies. But in which direction? It's biased to the upside, but quite a messy old situation. Now it has called its pivot here and seen a bit of a reaction to it. Maybe it has got further upside to be done there as well. US dollar yen, not really wanting to be trading this, but it has been making a bit of a recovery, but it looks pretty soft at the moment. It's whilst the others have been strengthening, this has been weakening, just money running away. So it's like this sort of risk back on situation. The US dollar's looking soft, and so is the yen. Aussie dollar, well, the Aussie dollar's made a bit of a recovery to the underside of its range. Now's the question: can it hang in there, or is it going to roll over? Is it going to react to this? There's my rangy drawing. It's also, as it happens, the S1 for today. Is that going to be it, or if it's going to start pushing further up there? It's down a little lower high. I'm just looking for weakness in the structure. It's broken the near-term trend line. The overall trend line that's coming across there certainly won't have been hit yet. So it's but it's close. So a short-term bounce we've certainly had. Change it, as I say, change the structure there, higher low, probably some divergence at the bottoms here. It's broken the high between the two, so there's a number of things there suggesting it could push up, but right into resistance at the moment. US dollar CAD, the CAD's hanging in there basically as well. a lot of these markets just hanging in there. This is sitting sort of completely opposite way. When you look at what the euro's doing, the pound's doing, where they're pushing against highs. Well, this has got the wrong high here because it's the US dollar CAD, and if anything, the price should be down. Technically, it should be down here somewhere if it was pushing against the previous highs. It's had a couple of weeks of softness. It's consolidating where it is near the top, which it doesn't bode fantastically well unless we see something coming off its double top. There'll probably be some divergence on the MACD over the top of those highs there. A break of these lows here though is much more significant. It already put a lower high in. It's close to its short-term trend there as well. So there's potential in these markets to switch around a little bit more. There's nervous jitters. New Zealand dollar is certainly the strongest this morning, but doesn't really look particularly strong. It's a bit like the Canadian dollar there. Commodity currency is just struggling more. Pushed up a tad here. Higher lows popped in there. Yeah, just really pushed up strong through the Asian session there. Maybe it is for a change, but nothing there for me at the moment. Euro yen flexing its muscles once again, with the yen being the weakest and the euro doing okay. I wouldn't say it's the strongest, but doing okay. We're seeing that sort of yet again, and if you look through the sentiment of traders, it's really once again, just look at the sentiment. They're all short. I say all short. There's about 80% of holdings are short on the euro yen. So those that are in the trade on the euro yen, they're short as opposed to being long. So that the contrarian out there would be looking to buy into this. It might put something in. It's already had quite a shove here at the moment. Post 8 o'clock we might see something of a retrace, so I'm always a bit wary of these sort of moves. Aside of that, the likes of Euro Aussie yesterday and the Euro CAD couldn't touch them, but now they're both sort of coming off a little bit, as are the pound Aussie and the pound CAD. So there is with these commodities, pound CAD not doing quite so well. Now if we're looking at one that's going to fly, maybe it's going to be like the pound CAD as opposed to the Euro CAD. I don't know, Euro CAD is up higher than it was. Sorry, I was comparing it with a pound Aussie. Pound Aussie certainly, well, the Aussie strength there it's rolled through there. Whether it can hold on to that again post 8 o'clock, it's the important thing. We want to be in with the bigger volumes, and we'll see what happens then. This could just be a bit of a fake move, in the words of good old Donald Knott. Right, pound CAD, looks at that. Pound yen. So pound yen struggling. I mean, the euro yen's the better of these if you're looking at anything, but Aussie CAD still dancing around here, short on this, but it looks like it's going to catch my stop, but we'll see how it does. It's just rallied right the way through since last night there. Really, it was looking good on the downside, but switching, as I said before, this was in its bigger scheme of things here, still hasn't done too much, and you get a lot of overlap, so we'll see. Anyway, I don't have anything immediate here. It is a lot of patience needed to kick through. Things can change pretty quickly post 8 o'clock, but I'm just looking at the Aussie New Zealand here. New Zealand catching it. This could reverse at some stage. It's already gone through the pivot. It might just come back. It might be testing it and run again, but the Aussie has sold against the New Zealand. Right, okay, nothing there at the moment. It's just switch markets. Euro Swiss, sorry, I'll have a look at that. Someone suggested here the Euro Swissy. Where are you? It's reserved right down the bottom of my list here. In fact, don't say I haven't even got it. It's not a pair I would normally trade because of its nature to correlate pretty tightly. It's just pop it on for you. Euro Swiss, as I'm being asked this real time. Let's go for an Pepperstone price. Okay, done. It's going to be down the bottom here. Oh, I have got it on this listing. Right, so what do I reckon the Euro Swiss? You probably want to be buying it because it's near the bottoms, but it's a horrible choppy market in terms of it has broken the trend that's sitting here at the moment. Has broken through there. There's divergences that would be sitting through there, but the bigger picture really to me is very iffy. I mean, this is why I don't trade it, is because of all of this sort of action. But it is catching a bounce at the moment, undoubtedly. It's just breaking its prior highs here. Maybe it has got a bit more upside. I'm really not a great trader on the taking the long side of against these markets, but it might happen. But I would wait. I mean, it's only got to wait about 5-10 minutes and see what the market starts doing. It might just show its hand a little bit. Just be a bit wary for fake outs. It has put some signals in there, and certainly the trend, the structure with the divergence, it's there. So got some scope. Bigger picture, it's still largely to the downside, but we'll see how it develops this morning. But it could just as easy just chop there, so hence why I don't touch it. But that's not to say it can't be traded, of course, just because I don't trade it. It's just I like something that's more opposite to one another. Gold. 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 Just so really just chopping along here, isn't it? Looks with the softer dollar that at some stage we could see this break out this mess, but it's still in that messy zone, so best left. Okay, the oil finally got down there and closed that gap. It took some time, but that's a job done. In doing so, more recently here we've got the lower high absolutely confirmed, and it's looking a little bit soft. It hasn't touched this pivot that's just below it. That could provide some support there, so we could see yet another bounce off there. It is, and that around about or just below that we've got the range that was sort of sitting there previously. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. It's quite a key zone just around the pivot at least. It might be useful again this afternoon. Okay, looking at the indices briefly. So the CSI 300 finally catching a little bounce here after what has been looking quite ugly. In fact, everything's looking more bullish than it had been. The Nikkei likewise. There'll be traders selling into this big time, but it does look weak with that that sort of island reversal move effectively. But it has managed to end up on a positive note before it's closed there. Nifty 50. Again, this one it's slowly breaking there. I keep on talking about this 17,875 or something like that is the figure I'm looking at, or 17,865 even, where it's not too far from breaking that, but certainly a little 5-wave move possibly, or maybe we've got some further upside here. It's looking more positive than it was for sure. Aussie 200 there just rolling off, still bull flag sitting there, so it's just shaping up quite nicely for the bull flag. Still potential on that. I'm not catching knives, I wouldn't be catching knives on the way down here though. Just wait for it to show its hand again. S&Ps, or its bullish hand I should say. S&P's come off yesterday, really struggling to do too much. It's just sort of rolled back off there further. Catching a bit of a bounce this morning as we are through a lot of these markets, but I think the more positive data we see coming out from on the it just confirms that there will be a 0.25% increase. It's whether or not traders believe there'll be a further increase after this when they meet next Wednesday, isn't it? 3rd. Nasdaq, pretty similar-ish. It's come close to home though. The DAX has been rolling. I talked about this yesterday. It's been rolling over. It's very ugly at times. Sold off really strongly just after 8 o'clock there, with the lower highs, lower lows. Maybe we'll see some more, but more of the same as we're running through here. We're on the 8 o'clock bar at the moment. It can be a brutal bar. Let's see how it develops, but for now, to me, it's in that sort of short-term, intermediate-term bearish zone. We've taken out the lows here as well, so hence the intermediate time. Although in the bigger scale of things, it's still looking relatively bullish, and at some stage we could break the upside, but I do appreciate a lot of people are day trading it, and they'll be quite happy on the shorter side. FTSE following suit, really, just rolled over here a little bit at the moment, but it's providing more of a flag than anything else. So right, quick look at the crypto world, as it's a Thursday, but I'll do it anyway. As we've got at least one crypto trader here at the moment, so I'll have a look at. Oh, it's gone messy, hasn't it, the Bitcoin? Quite an ugly old situation here. Yesterday evening, selling off strongly, then getting a reasonable bounce. This doesn't make for great intraday trading for sure. If you're holding this and you're in a long-term position, you probably don't care too much about these sort of this price action, but it's certainly a misbalance. I mean, it's ended up balanced to a degree, but certainly an intraday misbalance there of buyers, sellers, looking quite ugly. When markets start doing this, well, if it starts breaking these lows at around about 26,961, to me it would be more of a maybe the rally that's been running through there, sort of rally. The slow climb might be over for a while, but it's always going to be a battle nowadays on these markets. Ethereum, but that doesn't mean to say they don't give some good intraday moves, but they also give some horrible. I mean, this yesterday pushing up solidly and bang, it's just fallen. As they say, the bulls climb up the stairs and the bears jump out the window. It certainly did yesterday there, and not looking the brightest at the moment on this shorter time frames. So looking softer. Ripple, quick look. So lower highs in Ripple as well overall, and to me it's looking like a weaker link at the moment. It's always been a coin that I just thought was pretty decent, but the court action never helped it, and then it's sort of sitting there now, just consolidated and ugly, nearer the lows than the highs. So does look soft to me. Right, okay, I'm going to leave it there, because otherwise I could be an hour just on going through all the crypto markets. If you ever have something you want me to have a look at, just let me know, or pop it on Discord, my Discord channel. Details are somewhere below. Right, on that note, I'll catch you and have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the morrow. Bye for now.